Hi, Rick Harsh here. This is a razor, an electric razor, and I use it to keep my face more or less how it was, and my hair. Uh, the last 3.5 years, because we've been making this movie, and I have to look more or less the same. Now, my face is withering and aging, and I think my neck is even, turning into some sort of ptarmigan style waddle neck. I don't know. I don't know. What can I do? I can't. I mean, in a couple of uh, um, of these programs, I did something like this, and I try to do this when I take pictures. I go up here and then, but you can't run from this kind of thing forever because as you get older, you can't even fucking run. Well, so I wanted to just talk about these things and how dangerous they are. I have to keep this and this the same length. And the problem is, it's okay when you do this, okay. But then you get a little close here. Oh, shit. The other side, and you end up with almost nothing there. And then you see your director, Sasha Muniza, otherwise known as the Stanley Kubrick of Istria, and he said, no, 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 that won't do. We'll have to wait another month before we can fix that scene. And he says several accusatory things as well. He abuses me. But so did Kubrick. So, now he didn't abuse me, but he abused others, and if Kubrick did it, Sasha will do it. Nothing I can do about that. I just wanted to explain why I might look like someone else right now. Stanley Muniza certainly thinks so. Hmm? Well, but I'm here for better things, higher causes. Uh, Something really nice happened. We are a press that is all about waiting. We have to wait to get the money to print something. In fact, recently it got so bad, I actually went on the air. This is the air, and I said we will take donations, and we got some really nice donations, and it will allow us to have printed by the end of August. I don't know, 17 books this year. We're off to a good start anyway. The micro lines, let's turn this a little bit so you can see the micro lines. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, that's not right. Okay. Maybe it's up here. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see, this here, these are oh, okay. Look, these are micro lines right here. One more. We have gotten to the point where you can now have a shelf full of microlines. I love these books because each one has its artistic elements. You have the lift with nice photographs by the Stanley Kubrick figure. Then you got Mark, who has his same cover but with the microline spine. You got Gargee Barua, who will more about her in a moment. You've got my mother, who uh, got this and a few months later died. She was 93. We always say things like that. But she was 93. It's not really that way. Um, but it's a very personal thing, and I won't go further. This is a quiet masterpiece by Zach, the new cover of Raging Joyce, Sublime Violations. This is, when you let an author choose the photos for their book, you could be making a big mistake. I've seen some bad choices in my day. These are great. Look at that. Roberto Segroff. Okay. Then, okay, this one needed this cover because this photograph of me and my father, who passed away 3.5 years ago, about, this photograph my mother gave me last Christmas, and it brought out some things, and I wrote about it. And it's a microline, so it's a thin book. It's a short book, but it's a book. Ask Howell Ginsberg. He'll howl. And Ferlinghetti. You know, I mean, the City Lights has that tradition, and we stole, of course, the penguin idea. And here, you know, we get two lovely, lovely um, watercolors by Archipravo Baumic. You know, and then you get the Katja Berlina photographs of her rabbits. These are 3D rabbits. So, you know, that's, and we get three more today. Um, they're coming, and they are done. Got Zach Tanner. Finally, we've got Oscar Submerges back with a new cover. It's a microline classic. It's a CS classic, and along with that, we've got Easter by David Vardaman. We pulled it out of Suggestion Diabolique to make it its own book, and Suggestion Diabolique will be back with a new story to replace Easter. And the other one is Wailing Madness, Shame, and Death, another classic. These are three microline classics. Wait till you see the look on them. I can't wait myself. Actually, I've seen photos of the almost finished product, but yeah, they're the first one chosen was actually Joao Hayes's Bedraggling Grandma with Russian Snow, but we have a few left, and so we ran out of Wailing Madness, Shame, and Death, and so we're you know. Oh, and Easter is a co-production. We have it's not just us. We combined with a bookstore that sells our books in Hobart, Tasmania, and it's called Five Leaves Left. Yeah, Five Leaves Left. I was thinking, you know, for the longest time I was thinking on the left, but it could be Five Leaves Remaining. I suppose. But anyway, their logo will be on the book along with ours, and that's that kind of collaboration is priceless, and so I'm really pleased with that. But about, you know, waiting, you know, we're always waiting to see if we can do this or that, and some of our writers have been waiting a long time because I let our list grow. I was getting, you know, I had books that I maybe had to decide on, maybe not, but you know, I generally tend to say yes rather than no if there's any doubt. And so we got a pretty big list. And then some really great books started coming in. You know, and you can't say, nah, you know, you got to tell them, look, it might be a while. And if they say, well, that's okay, then you just let it be a while. You try to sneak in a microline sometimes. But, and at the same time, you know, Skulls of Istria ran out after 5 years. I don't remember how many copies I got, but that was back in the days when I had no idea what I was doing, and I was getting way too many copies. Since then, I've been getting too few and giving too many away. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. You deserve it. Okay, not all of you, but most of you did. Yeah. So people have to wait to get published. And then when I mail you the books from Slovenia, most of you are in Canada, the United States, Australia, even New Zealand. There aren't a lot of you in New Zealand, but by God, I wouldn't trade the one of you for anybody else. So, you know, I mean, we've sold to more than 40 countries, but more often than not, it's a long wait because it's a long send. Colombia, I sent a bunch of Segrov's books. They never arrived. I sent another box recently. We're hoping. But, you know, there's a sort of I don't know, it's a first world thing. India, I sent Gargee Barua's books, and I don't remember when I sent them, but she got them pretty quickly. And India, I've never. They have the problem with India is their addresses can be really long, um, and so you can't fit them on the computer. You have to write some stuff in sometimes, and but um, India's post is great. And no, no, it is not because of the British. It's because the Indian post is great. And so Gargee got her books. The waiting theme started with Philip Freedenberg, when back in the old days when you had to contact me by email to order a book, and he had to wait for his book. Back then I think it was taking about 3 weeks to go from here to Buffalo. And we had a wonderful conversation or two, and then he decided to write a novel about a guy waiting to get my book. That turned into America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. Waiting. But now we've got the magnificent Gargee Barua, and I hope this works. I'm going to show you what she sent. It's a 5-page PDF that goes to anybody who orders her book, and it's called Waiting, Poetics of Scattered Stillness and the Space Between Dispersal and Arrival. And then, she's got, I think we've got a tarot card there, the Hanged Man, hanging around, waiting for something. And then we've got a lap, which sounds to me like a, what do you, the drum, the tandoori. No, that's an oven. I know. Anyway, I have found amidst all movement a reckless waiting, this disgruntled wait in the chambers of a hospital for some conclusion. A room that hangs in between hope and confusion, sugary shallowness, the incessant ticking of the clock, making patterns on the disinfectant floor. A family member walks in with some tea as a temporary antidote, nerves that creak in the quiet hours before performance. Performance anxiety? Nah, that's not what she's talking about. Before you shake up your voice in front of the mic, it sounds like an echo of your 2 minutes ago. Behold, now that you have nowhere to go. So you speak into the faces that sit like you're a slow-coated sermon. I thought at first I saw salmon, but it was sermon. Slow-coated sermon. You're the vastness of all the moments that laugh through your bespoke nerves. You swallow your spit like a last-minute tequila shot. Talking. Wish you drank that shot last minute, but the claps now come barging in like cloudbursts. When did you start to speak? And when did you finish? Where were you while you talked in the widespread amnesia of a plus-sized hall? Your waiting was altered. Now we get the beautiful title, Plutonium Anxiety. Met a few brilliant things through the slopes of unfolding, humans with elfish ears, seeing into the dark of their most tumultuous sadness. Some sorrows were yet to be cooked in the heat of preparation. But how handsome excellence, their plutonium anxiety. What would happen if it explodes? My favorite color is true. It's when I think about you, still from the Royal Tenenbaums. And then we've got extraterrestrial longing, Mercury retrograde. This Sunday morning, breakfast in sandwiches between dispersal and arrival. The hanged man fell from the tree, Mercury in oblivion. The music of Paganini in Shirshasana mode. Sriracha sauce sprinkled over July, freedom infused with the contours of terror. Witnesser witnessing the Mercury corridor. Ramana Maharshi spoke from behind a curtain sunk in gloom. The answers come according to the state of the seeker. Last page, curiouser and curiouser. Another day in Alice's 6 impossible things before breakfast. But the ghosts of the waiting game growl, their hunger a hasty anticipation. Hardened sunrises dipped in the warmth of possibilities. All rigidity breaks when taste arrives, obituary to melancholy, while I slide through the rabbit holes. I must, and I shrink into dreaming from the 1915 film. Fantastic. Now that is such a grand gesture. I mean, nobody thought of it. We've had a lot of creative people here doing a lot of creative things. Nobody tops the Walton Freedenberg duo for creative things and gifts and so on, when their production of a book, probably starting from the moment it's a private beginning. Philip and Jeff are working together uh, throughout the initial writing of the book. At some point, it sort of begins to slide public. Recently, Phil read 20 some seconds of his current novel, The Museum of Rick's Ideas. He stole it from me. Yeah. The Museum of Rick's Ideas. Maybe that may not be the actual title, but it's a better title than what he's got. The Museum of Rick's Ideas. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it was spectacular. I just got a call last night. I sent it to a friend. Did I ask Phil? Well, Phil, don't be mad. But I sent it to a friend, and he apparently listened more than once, and he was just dumbfounded. I can't remember what he said. One thing he said was something about it being a definite winner in the read aloud contest, or however he put it. I don't know. I'm very tired, and I'm afraid of this. I'm glancing at it now and then and just thinking, am I in control of this? I mean, it could just. I don't think so. That could happen any time. Could you imagine laying in bed and the thing goes swooping at me, like a bat out of the Museum of Rick's Ideas? So anyway, point is, nobody thought of this, and it seems like such a great idea, but every I don't know within India how long you have to wait. Like if she sends a book, you have to order in India. It's 350 rupees. We don't go by euros, but like from Delhi to Kolkata, I have no idea how long it would take. I don't think it's as long as it is in Europe. The post is really good in India. Trust me on that. So my point is that it's just a really nice thing to do, and with full creative force. If this was 25 pages longer, I think we'd microline it. So far I have the shortest microline, and no, the lift is pretty short too. So it's between Rick and Jack in Croatia and the lift. So this would have been a shorter one, but I don't know. We've got to do something with it. Maybe a collection. If there's no telling what someone of Gargee's variegated talents will do. She may never write another book. She may become a Bollywood queen. She's got a great voice. Or she may become a yogina, because she's a yoga. I don't know what a female yoga person is. I would have said yoga master for a man, but mistress doesn't sound right. Anyway, so hopefully, I know she writes poetry, so hopefully someday we will have something else of hers to publish. And otherwise, we might just, no, actually, we have to wait for another book by her, and we'll just put it as an afterword. I think it'd be great, because it's not just attractive, it's also intelligent and poetic. It really is, and the taste, it's a brilliant idea. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. I was trying to figure out how to fit it in with the. I would like to read the names of all the people who gave us anything, but there's two reasons I won't do that. One, there are two reasons. Watch your English. Uh, I was in the museum of my ideas, and one room got lost. Anyway, so the thing is, I I don't want to read it out because I don't have permission to mention names, and also because uh, although when someone gives you something like 500 euros for your press, it feels it's fantastic because you know what you I know what we're going to use that for, and that it's going to mean another book out before the September of big books, which is Stickley, ABC, Abended Circuity, and Freedenberg, Walton. We are just fresh out of America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots, so we have to go a whole month, and then everything in September is for those books. Um, we had a big decision to make, and I talked with Robert Stickley about it. Should we do print on demand? Because apparently they've gotten pretty good at it. The magnificent Australo-Czech writer Louis Armand, they do that. Equus Press does that with his books, and they were telling me about it, and it sounded great. But when I went to my printer and talked about it, I already knew there was no way I could do it. I cannot do it. And Robert, if you're watching, I'm sorry I didn't tell you in person, and I'm doing it in public because this is how I thought of it. I can't do it. It's a family business. It's a son doing the same work his father did. They do really great work. Everything's top quality. The printing is brilliant. If there's anything wrong with what we give him, he's not going to print it. He's going to send it back and say, "Okay, this is a problem. That's a problem." He's brilliant at it, and the books are high quality. Much of the process is handmade. I'm no fan of plastification, but I got to admit, this, for instance, this is Randall Eldon Green's 50 dialogue-only fictions, blabber, chat, shouting match. And I haven't read it yet because I just haven't been in that mode yet. I'm starting a novel, and I'm in a trench in a rainforest with that. So, okay, I'll get to this. I'm very excited by it. And, anything it's like reading Mark Douglas's poems the first time around. I thought, this is great. I'm going to read this right now. And the first lengthy poem it cohered and sort of lent itself to that. But then when it came to a more scattered field of poems, I didn't have my same forward march, But this time I read a couple of them on TikTok, which I will not have anything more to do with in a day or two. I do have some good stuff for my next novel from there. Wait till you get to the woman who wants me to pay for her medicine because she's having her period and she's going to bleed to death. She sent photos. This is a stranger. She sent photos of bloody toilet paper. I've got a daughter. I've had girlfriends. I'm married. I've seen, things that didn't flush, etc. You need to have a lot more blood on your toilet paper if you want me to worry about you. I mean, I got to go to the pharmacy. I called the pharmacy. I'm in such pain. I called the pharmacy to ask about the drug. It's a common drug. She even sent a photo of the drug, and it's 3+1. and that and they told her the price went up. She wasn't prepared for that. That's what happened. Everybody, when they're really in pain and they've got to rush to the pharmacy, they always call ahead to find out if the price changed. It was just hilarious. Yeah, I laugh, but she could be dead right now. Probably not, though. Um, well, I'll leave that for the novel. You can find out what happened in the novel. But after I did what I did, um, she she wrote me and asked for. She said, "Can you buy me an Apple gift card?" I really didn't know what those were. I have some idea now, but I said sure. And the next day she contacted me again on TikTok, and she said, "Did you? What about that Apple gift card? You said you would buy it." I said, "Oh yeah, I did, but I don't know how they work. I fucked up. I ended up buying books." And that nonsense went on for a couple of days, and then I insulted her, and you know, uh, I defend that by saying it's an insult to just try to scam everybody you run into on a site, but it's also insulting if you fall for the scam. But I never have. Anyway, that's uh, that's got nothing to do with waiting. So, you know, let's.